Good morning. My name is Meg Crace. I'm the social worker here at the Carpentersville Police Department. If you haven't seen any of our videos before, prior to COVID, we were starting a new family series called Family Matters. In this series, our plan was to do monthly seminars on sort of hot button topics for both children and families. We would provide dinner, have an informational session, and then play a family unification game. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, we've been unable to meet in person so far. So instead, we've been uploading videos to our YouTube channel in hopes that people are still getting some up-to-date information on what's kind of going on and what to look for. So today for Family Matters, what we're going to talk about is teen social safety and awareness. First thing we want to talk about is what is the number one most important rule and key to teen safety before attending a social event. So this could be going out to a party, any sort of social event where kids are going to go out by themselves or with their friends. They need to make sure that someone knows, preferably an adult knows, where you're going to be, what friends you're going to be with at this event, and what time you're going to be home. Everybody has different rules in their own family system, but it's important to kind of give somebody an idea, ideally an adult, sort of what's going on so that somebody knows to be watching for you, okay? Next, we're going to talk about the most important rule and key to teen safety while you're attending the event. The biggest thing that we want to maintain is to stay sober, okay? It is important to not consume alcoholic beverages, any type of drugs. You want to maintain control over yourself and your actions. Alcohol and drugs can impair your judgment and slow your reaction time. Alcohol and drugs are also more likely to make you do things that you would not do if you're sober. Also, what we call lowering your inhibitions. Just sort of means that it changes your perception on different events and kind of makes you do more things than you would if you were thinking things through. Okay? It's important. I know we all learned this from when we're kids, but just to say no. There's two simple ways to say no to drug or alcohol at parties. You can make an excuse, or you can be honest as to why you're saying no. As for an excuse, you could say things like, no, that stuff makes me sick. Blame it on sports. No, I get drug tested for work. You can work or sports or whatever the thing may be. You can give an honest reason. You say, that stuff's bad for you. I just don't want any. You can say something like, my mom would kill me if I did that. I just don't want to risk it. At the end of the day, though, my thing is no means no. You don't have to justify why you're saying no. If you don't feel like having drugs or alcohol, but you still want to be at a party, you can do that. You don't have to justify your why to anybody. Very important. If you're saying no and people are just putting pressure on you and you're kind of feeling forced into it, it means it's time to leave the social event. Nothing good is going to happen if someone refuses to hear the word no. And if they refuse to respect you and you say no, your real friends will not pressure you into doing something that you don't want to do or that is harmful to you. I know that can be hard to hear, but a real friend isn't going to pressure you into things. What should you do if you or a friend drinks? Never drink to being at a point of out of control. Okay, it's important to always maintain control of yourself. Never drink to the point of blacking out or becoming unconscious. Never drink and drive, and do not get into a car with a friend who has been drinking alcohol. If you find yourself in a situation where you need help from the police, paramedics, or the emergency room, and you're afraid of getting in trouble because you've drank alcohol or taken drugs, know that our number one concern is you and your safety first. Call 911 and get yourself and your friends help. It's also important to note that Illinois law, if you are caught under 21 having drinking and driving, anything like that, it is zero tolerance. You will lose your license. It's a big deal and it costs a whole lot of money. So, make sure that you're paying attention to what's going on around you. And, I know everybody is afraid of consequences and nobody wants consequences for their actions, but just know that first responders, we are here to make sure that you're safe and to try and help, okay? It's important to never put your drink down and never leave it unattended. This could be a drink of alcohol, or this could just be a soda. I know that we talk about this most often in terms of alcohol, but even if you're having water, you're having a pop, it's important. Don't leave your drinks unattended, okay? Always watch your drink and take it with you whenever possible. If for some reason you do have to leave your drink, leave it with a responsible, sober friend, okay? Never leave your drink with or any of your personal belongings with a drunk friend. When you can, drink your own drinks, bring your own drinks with you to a social event. I know everybody nowadays has these cute tumblers and everything else. You can always bring that in. Nobody needs to know what's inside of it. And they have a lid, which I really like. Or if you are getting a drink there, always get a drink that's sealed. A can of pap, a water bottle, anything like that can be handed directly to you from, a refrigerator. If you're at like a football game, a server, an attendant, whatever. Don't drink the party punch, okay? It could be spiked with alcohol. It could have other intoxicants in it. You have no idea, even if you know that it's got some alcohol in it, you have no idea how much alcohol it has in it. Just because it's in a big vat does not mean that it's watered down, okay? So make sure that you're paying attention to what you are putting into your body, because if somebody else has made it, you have no control over that. All right. There are obviously some exceptions to this rules. If you're at a social event chaperoned by adults, if you're at a school dance, or you're at a close friend's house, it's just there can be some exceptions. It's just important to always kind of know what you're putting into your body and who's had access to that before. Okay. Big things: do not take drinks from strangers. Strangers do not have to be adults. It could be kids your own age that you don't know, or you know from class but you're not friends with, things like that. Make sure that you're always paying attention to where your drinks come from. Don't let people hover over you and your drinks. Nobody needs to be that close to you. Just make sure that you're being aware of yourself and what's going on around you. As you can see from these pictures, when you walk around a party, if you have your drink, don't carry it with nothing over the top, because it only takes a second for something to fall into your cup. If you've got your hand over that, it takes a lot longer. Social event safety. All right, stay with your friends that you came with to the social event. Make sure that you're hanging out with people that you know that you're comfortable with. Leave with your friends that came to the social event. Stay together, stay as a group. Have a covert for if you just feel like leaving, or if something's happening that's making you uncomfortable. Maybe somebody at the party who's talking to you is making you uncomfortable. If your friends know that you're uncomfortable and maybe you don't feel comfortable saying it, you can say this covert and they can swoop in to help you. Stay in the main social event space, like the living room or the yard. Never go into back rooms or bedrooms or secluded spaces where you can get trapped or somebody can corner you or you may not feel comfortable. Okay, it's better to stay in big open areas where you can always have the possibility of walking away if needed. All right, more safety tips, just general. Make sure that you have your cell phone with you and charged in case you need to make an emergency call. Even if you have a phone that does not have cell service, if it's a Wi-Fi only phone, you can still call 911 on it. Any cell phone with a battery, you can call 911 from. So it's important to always just have that phone on you, even if you do not have cellular service. Make sure you're paying attention to your surroundings, including traffic, people around you, where you parked your car. Park your car in a well-lit public area, especially at night. Make sure that when you go to a party, you don't get parked in. You want to always make sure that you can leave if you want to leave. If whether you feel uncomfortable or you need to make it home by a certain amount of time, you want to make sure that you don't get parked in. If you're going out for a jog or bike at night, make sure that you're wearing reflective clothes. Make it so people can see you. If you are doing any of that stuff, running or jogging, or you're out late at night, if you've got headphones in, please keep them to a low volume. It's very easy to sneak up with people when they're got their headphones in. If you're texting and walking, there's a level of distraction there, and so it lets a potential attacker or somebody who's up to no good have that extra second on you because you don't know that it's happening. If you're ever unsafe or uncomfortable, I can only speak for my own kids. as a parent, I'm perfectly fine with my kids blaming me for whatever they want to. If they're uncomfortable, if they're unhappy in a situation, they can always use me as an excuse. You can always use sports. Oh, I got practice in the morning. I've got to go. Things like that. Just make sure if you're uncomfortable, get yourself out of the situation. And at the end of the day, I will say, if you're with your friends, you should not need to justify your wanting to leave. If you want to leave, then leave. Okay? It's generally something that people learn a little bit older in life, but you don't have to justify everything that you do to everybody around you. If you want to do something, or if you don't want to do something, then follow what your gut says. All right. So we're going to watch this video really quick.
Clearly, somebody in this room murdered Lord Smythe, who, at precisely 3:34 this afternoon, was brutally bludgeoned to death with a blunt instrument. I want each of you to tell me your whereabouts at precisely the time that this dastardly deed took place.
I was polishing the brass in the master bedroom.
I was buttering his lordship's scones below stairs, sir.
I was planting my petunias in the potting shed.
Constable, arrest Lady Smythe.
But how did you know?
Madam, as any horticulturist will tell you, one does not plant petunias until May is out. Take her away. It's just a matter of observation. The real question is, how observant were you? Clearly, somebody in this room murdered Lord Smythe, who, at precisely 3:34 this afternoon, was brutally bludgeoned to death with a blunt instrument. I want each of you to tell me your whereabouts at precisely the time that this dastardly deed took place.
I was polishing the brass in the master bedroom.
I was buttering his lordship's scones below stairs, sir.
I was planting my petunias in the potting shed.
Constable, arrest Lady Smythe.
I think that this video just gives us a really great demonstration of how easy, if you're not paying attention to something specifically, you're at a party having a good time with your friends, that it's easy to miss stuff that's going on around you, okay? So now we're going to talk a little bit about situational awareness. What is situational awareness? First of all, it involves being aware of what is happening in the vicinity in order to understand information, events, and one's own actions will impact goals and objectives, both immediately and in the future. Okay, so more simply put, it's knowing what's going on around you. The thing is when you're at a party, you're at a social event, there's music going, there's all these things taking your focus away, that it's easy to miss some of the things that's going on around you. So it's important that even while you're distracted, you still have a sense of what's going on. And these are things that really your brain has to practice in order to be good at. So right now we're going to take a minute to look at this photo really quick. Make sure you're memorizing everything in this picture. All right, so it's been a minute. So after looking at that picture, can you tell me how many people total were involved in the accident? My count, I see 4. How many males and how many females? I see 3 males and 1 female. What color were the 2 cars? One was red, one was white. What objects were laying on the ground? There was a tire, a bumper, a spring. What injury did the man on the ground seem to be suffering from? A head injury. What was the license plate number on one of the cars? 630-LX. So when you think about things, even if you're paying attention, being able to soak up all of the information isn't going to be possible, okay? But the more we practice, the more things that we can know to pay attention to. It's as simple as, for adults, when somebody asks you what's your license plate number and you completely draw a blank, you quickly realize that it's possible to have looked at something hundreds of times without ever seeing and actually processing the information. These blind spots are due to the fact that our eyes don't operate like cameras that record the scenes as they unfold. Rather, our brains take in a number of different sort of shots and pictures and then interpret and assemble them together to form that coherent picture. If left on autopilot, our brains ignore many things in our environment, deeming them as unimportant in creating this image that we see. Okay, sound is very important. It kind of gives your eyes, it tells your eyes what to focus on. So when you're at a party and there's music and you're talking and everything like that, your ears are going to miss the cues of what your eyes should be focused on. Okay. All right, social event safety. We're just doing some more of this. In using your newfound situational awareness, you should be paying attention to your environment, what's happening, what's not happening, who is around you, how intoxicated people are and what they're doing. Are there adults around or someone responsible that you can go to for help? If the social event starts to get out of control or if you start to feel uncomfortable, it is then time to leave. If you're being pressured to stay, you can utilize your two options from before. You can use an excuse, you can use honesty, whatever you need to do to get out the door. You can say, I have an exam tomorrow, I have to go home, I have to get some sleep. I'll be grounded and lose my cell phone for a month if I get home. It's not worth it, I have to go. Again, as I've been saying over and over, you also don't have to justify it. If you don't want to be somewhere, you can leave, okay? So what if the pressure is too great? What if the situation becomes physical or you get scared? Or if you need help and you want to leave and your friends don't? Call an Uber. Everybody's got a cell phone. Parents, I would encourage you. No, we don't want to, have our kids take advantage of this. However, having that app on their phone so that if they feel uncomfortable, they can get themselves out of a situation is a great thing. Call a trusted adult. Call your parents. Call the police if you need. Parents, I encourage, consequences are natural. And kids, I'm telling you, even if you call your parents to come pick you up with this, I'm not saying there aren't going to be consequences if you did something that you're not supposed to do. However, parents, we want to remember to reward and praise good decision making, such as not driving drunk or having our kids know when they need help. I know I have a situation with my own kids where I've said, you will not get in trouble if you call me from a party because you need to get out of there. It is what it is. I don't care what time of day it is. I don't care what's going on. You call me, I will always be there to pick you up. It's important that our kids know that. I know for my own self, when I was growing up, my mom told me, oh, I don't think you're going to tell me when you do it, but if you want to, you can just always let me know. And okay, I never told my mom before I actually went to a party or I did anything like that. But I always knew if I needed to get out of a situation, I could call my mom. Okay. So more just general safety events, social event safety. Don't leave your stuff unattended. You don't know, number one, if somebody's going to take it, what they're going to put in it, what they're going to do to it, okay? Don't give out your cell phone number out to strangers. Strangers, again, could be adults. It doesn't have to be an adult. It could be somebody your own age. If you meet somebody that you want to talk to again, either take their information, exchange the Snapchat information. They don't need to know everything about you. They don't need to know how to be able to find you, anything like that. Never take anything from a stranger. So, drinks, food, anything like that. They can be your own age. They can be older than you. They could be younger than you. You don't know what somebody else's intentions are. When you're at either somebody else's house or an event, make sure that you know how to get out of the house. Make sure that you know if there are two exits, where they are. Because if you need to go, it's better to have a plan in place, okay? It's better to have a plan and never need to use it than not have a plan and get stuck, okay? Safety starts with you and making educated and sober decisions. If you need help and it's an emergency, always dial 911. Our main concern is you and your friends' safety, okay? If you ever need to talk to a police officer, or have a non-emergency situation, you can always call 847-511-3481, and that is the phone number here for the Carpentersville Police Department. And we would always be more than willing to help you guys and do anything that we can to help. I am the social worker here. I would love to be able to chat and talk to you and sort of see if there's anything I can do to help, okay? Thank you all so much for joining me today. If you'd like to be entered to win a prize, please email me, Meg. So it's mkrace, K-R-A-S as in Sam E, at cville.org. It'll also be posted on the Facebook post. My information's on the website. It's easily available. Please feel free to email me to enter to win a prize, but also feel free to reach out if you ever have any questions, concerns. If there's a topic of family matters that you would like to hear, I would love to make this more personalized to what people would like to hear. So, feel free to reach out and let me know what I can do to be of assistance, okay? I hope everybody has a great day and a great start to the school year.